What if I told you the universe has an edge, not a wall, not a cliff, but a place where everything begins to unravel? An invisible boundary where light cannot reach, where time fractures, and where space itself stretches beyond meaning. For centuries we believed in infinity, but what if that belief is wrong? Beyond the furthest galaxy, there is a horizon we can never cross, not because we're not fast enough, but because the universe is running from us. Faster than light, faster than reason, and yet, something is pulling. Entire clusters of galaxies are being dragged toward a hidden force. No one knows what it is. No one knows why. But it's out there, beyond the edge. Some believe it's just darkness. Others believe it's the beginning of something else, a gateway to parallel realities, a place where universes collide, a place where the simulation breaks, where the rendering stops. This journey will take you to the very edge of what we know and far beyond it, into a place where light dies, where time freezes, and where reality itself begins to come undone. And once you see it, you'll never come back the same. You've been told the universe is infinite, that space stretches forever, a boundless ocean of galaxies scattered like fireflies in the dark. But what if that's not the full story? What if it only appears that way? Not because the universe lies, but because your senses do. We live trapped inside a bubble of perception, a sphere that isn't physical, but optical. The edge of the universe we think we see isn't a wall, it's a limit, the limit of light. Because in this cosmos, distance is measured not in space, but in time. Every time you look into the night sky, you are looking into the past, not seconds, not hours, but billions of years. You aren't seeing stars as they are, you're seeing them as they were, before your ancestors were born, before Earth even had oceans, before the planet itself was dust. And beyond a certain point, you see nothing. Not because there's nothing there, but because the light from those distant realms hasn't reached us yet. And here's where the illusion begins. We see a sphere, a grand cosmic shell of stars and galaxies that form the so-called observable universe. But that sphere is centered on us, on you. Not because Earth is special, but because observation is always local. You are at the center of your own visible cosmos. Everyone, everywhere is. It gives the illusion of an edge. Like standing in a dense fog, you see a circle around you, a horizon. It feels like the fog ends there, but it doesn't. You just can't see past it. That's what the edge of the universe is like. Not a wall, but a fog of time. And yet, there's something even more deceptive. The universe could be endless, or it could be curved. It might even loop in on itself like the surface of a sphere, a four-dimensional wraparound that folds back on itself in ways we can't perceive. Imagine sailing across the ocean, believing you'll fall off the edge, only to realize the Earth is round and the edge was never real to begin with. Now take that idea and apply it to the entire cosmos. In such a universe, you could travel in one direction forever and eventually end up back where you began. But because space isn't flat, you'd never notice the curve. It would feel like going straight. And there's more. Modern cosmology tells us that space itself is expanding, not into something else, but into itself. New space is being created. The very fabric of the universe is stretching. So even if the universe had a boundary once, that boundary has been racing away at unimaginable speed, forever out of reach. So what does it mean then to ask where the edge is? It's like trying to find the edge of a shadow when the light keeps moving. It's like trying to touch the horizon, only to watch it vanish the closer you get. And yet, the illusion is powerful, Because when we look into deep space, we see what looks like a sphere, a cosmic snow globe of galaxies suspended in the darkness. But this is not the universe. It's just our slice of it. The truth? There is no edge, at least not in the way we imagine, no cliff, no wall, no boundary you can fly toward and strike like glass. The edge is an illusion, one painted by the finite speed of light, and the even more limited reach of our imagination. But this is only the beginning, because while we may not see a hard boundary, something else is out there, something far more unsettling than an edge, a place we cannot reach, a limit that isn't drawn by light but by time itself, a point where the universe begins to run away from us, faster than we could ever chase. And what lies beyond that horizon is a truth no eye has ever seen. The universe is not still. It breathes, it moves, and more disturbingly, it runs, not away from something, but from us. What we once thought was a tranquil sea of stars is in truth a roaring current, a surge of space-time itself, expanding relentlessly, not like a balloon blowing up into empty air, but more like a fabric stretching from within. This expansion isn't gentle, it's accelerating, and we don't know why. Decades ago, astronomers noticed something strange. Distant galaxies weren't just drifting away, they were speeding up, as if some invisible force were pushing them harder, faster, farther. We named it dark energy, but that name is a placeholder, a mystery wrapped in a guess. What we do know is that this force is unstoppable, and it's creating something unthinkable, a cosmic horizon. Not a horizon you can see, not like a mountain in the distance, but a limit, a point beyond which no signal, no light, no sound will ever reach us again. That's right. There are places, galaxies, entire clusters of them, that are moving away so fast their light will never reach us. Not in 1 billion years. Not in 10 trillion. Never. And every second that passes and more of them cross that invisible line. The universe is not just growing, it is dividing. Piece by piece, moment by moment. The cosmos is disappearing. Right now, we can see roughly 2 trillion galaxies in our observable universe, but the vast majority of them are already unreachable. Even if we built the fastest ship imaginable, even if we broke every law of physics and traveled at the speed of light, we still couldn't catch them. They've crossed over. They're beyond the cosmic event horizon. And here's where it gets darker. This horizon isn't fixed. It grows. As dark energy pushes space apart, this barrier moves inward toward us. Galaxies that were once within reach fall out of sight. Imagine your neighborhood slowly vanishing. First the houses down the street, then your neighbors, then the trees, the sky, the stars, until all that remains is silence. This is not a metaphor, it is the destiny of our universe. In the far future, the night sky will go dark. Galaxies will vanish from view. Astronomers, if any still exist, will look up and see nothing but their own Milky Way wrapped in darkness. They will believe they are alone. Because all evidence of the universe beyond will have vanished, this is cosmic isolation, a cold prison of perception, where light is trapped, where time stretches until it breaks, where even memory becomes meaningless, because the truth will be erased by expansion itself. And it doesn't stop there. Time and space are woven together, a single tapestry we call space-time. As the fabric stretches, time itself begins to warp. Not equally, not gently. Time near distant galaxies begins to freeze, not because their clocks are broken, but because their very connection to us is being severed. In some sense, those galaxies still exist, but for us, here, they are already gone. And we can never get them back. This is not the end of the universe. It is something worse, a slow erasure, one we cannot fight, one we cannot stop, one we cannot even feel until it's far too late. It will not be violent, it will not be loud. There will be no explosion, no warning, just a deepening silence as the sky forgets itself. And the most terrifying part? This has already begun. You are watching the universe slip away. Right now, in every direction. The space between is growing. The signal weakens. The light stretches thin. Until one day, even the idea of beyond will be meaningless. There will be no edge to reach, because there will be nothing beyond the void. Just a local island of light in an ocean of absolute black. That is where we're headed. That is what the horizon hides. But what if, just beyond that vanishing point, there was something else? Something waiting in the dark? Not less, but more. A place we cannot see, a place we cannot touch, but one that might be watching us, and that is where we go next. The universe we know may be just a bubble, not a metaphor, a literal bubble, inflating, expanding, floating in a vast, unseen ocean of possibility. For decades, physicists have whispered it, the multiverse, not just a collection of stars and galaxies, not just one reality, but many. Infinite realms, infinite histories, infinite versions of you, of everything, and all of it possibly born from a single event. The Big Bang wasn't a bang. It wasn't even big. It was a rupture, a ripple in a higher dimensional field, and from that rupture, a pocket of space-time was born. It cooled, expanded, and formed galaxies, our universe. But what if that pocket wasn't the only one? What if that rupture that was still happening, again and again, everywhere? This is the heart of inflation theory, the idea that space-time expands faster than the speed of light during the earliest moments after creation, not in every region, but in patches, random bursts, like champagne foam erupting into being. Each bubble, its own universe, its own laws, its own physics. Some may be cold and lifeless, others too hot for matter. Some may be mirror reflections of ours, a universe where time flows backward or gravity repels instead of attracts. And in some, life may have evolved far beyond our comprehension, not carbon-based, not even matter-based, but intelligent, sentient geometry, living thoughts, self-aware dimensions. This isn't science fiction, it's mathematics. And the equations are whispering one thing: we are not alone, not in the alien sense, but in the cosmic sense. We are one page in an eternal book, a single ripple in an infinite pond. But the multiverse doesn't stop there. Some physicists go further. They speak of brane cosmology, an idea from string theory that suggests our universe is a three-dimensional membrane, or brane, floating in a higher dimensional space. We are trapped on this membrane. Everything we see, feel, and know is confined to it. Even light, even time. But floating just next to us, a breath away, could be another brane, another universe. Parallel, close enough to touch, but forever out of reach. And sometimes, they collide. Some believe the Big Bang itself was such a collision, a cosmic impact between dimensions, and every few trillion years, it happens again. Not a beginning, but a cycle, a rhythm of rebirth, each universe dying and giving rise to another. And if these collisions shape reality, then what happens if one is heading toward us? Would we see it, feel it, or would existence simply blink? Gone in a whisper. No warning, no time to scream. But the most haunting part isn't the idea of other universes. It's that they might know about us. Some of the strangest data from our universe, anomalies in the cosmic microwave background, the relic radiation from the Big Bang, suggest something might be tugging on our universe, a gravitational pull, unexplained, undeniable, as if something massive, something beyond our universe, is pulling on it. We call it dark flow. We have no idea what it is, but some theorists believe it's the sign of another bubble, close to ours, not colliding, but brushing past, rippling space, sending waves across the cosmic sea. And maybe, just maybe, they notice the ripple we left behind too. Maybe we aren't drifting alone. Maybe someone, or something, is watching. And that brings us to the most terrifying question. What is outside all of this? If the multiverse is real, if every bubble is just one of infinite, then what contains it? What is beyond even the ocean? A higher dimension? A deeper code? Or perhaps nothing? No time? No space? Not even the rules of logic as we understand them. Only potential. Waiting, breathing, watching. And maybe that's the point. Maybe we were never meant to know what's out there. Maybe our universe was built with blinders, a membrane to keep us safe or silent. Because the truth might be too big, too dangerous, too loud. A truth that echoes beyond the edge, a truth that shatters the illusion of uniqueness, a truth that says, you are not the first, you are not the last, and you are not alone. What lies beyond our bubble might not be emptiness, it might be everything. The universe is shifting, subtly, quietly, in ways we don't understand. Galaxy clusters, entire continents of stars, drifting in a strange, unified direction, not pulled by anything we can see. Not explained by any gravitational force we know. There's no black hole, no mass, no source. But still, they move. This isn't motion we expect in a universe governed by dark energy's push and gravity's pull. It's something else, a silent pull, like a whisper from beyond the veil. We call it dark flow. Discovered through observations of galaxy clusters using X-ray telescopes and the cosmic microwave background, dark flow describes a bizarre phenomenon. Galaxies are drifting toward a patch of the sky, a motion that shouldn't exist. Not random, deliberate, as if something massive hidden outside our observable universe is dragging us toward it. But here's the catch. We can't see what's pulling. We can't even measure it directly. We only see its consequence, the drift, the distortion, the cosmic tide. It's as if something just beyond our cosmic horizon is flexing its gravitational fingers through the wall of our universe. And that raises a terrifying question. What kind of object or force could be big enough, powerful enough to influence entire galactic structures? From outside our universe, a rogue region of the multiverse, a monstrous brane brushing up against our own, or worse, something that sees us. Because dark flow isn't the only anomaly we've found. There are whispers, signals, pulses, bursts of energy arriving from deep space, so fast, so brief, so powerful, they light up entire galaxies. We call them fast radio bursts, FRBS, milliseconds long, louder than anything else in the sky, and completely unexplained. Some repeat, some don't. Some come from ancient galaxies, others from no known origin at all. We've cataloged them, mapped them, chased them across the sky, and yet, every time we detect one, it feels like catching a shout across a cosmic canyon, with no idea who or what screamed. Natural phenomena? Possibly. Rotating neutron stars? Magnetars? That's the safe answer. But what if they're not natural? What if they're intentional? A message, a warning, a signal flare. encoded inside a burst of static hiding behind light years of distortion, could be the handprint of an intelligence, one that doesn't build with atoms and circuits, but with stars and time itself. And then there's the ultimate background noise, the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang. It should be uniform, smooth, a perfect echo from the beginning of everything. But it isn't. There are anomalies, cold spots, heat patterns, slight shifts that shouldn't be there. One such anomaly, the CMB cold spot, spans 1.8 billion light-years, colder than the surrounding radiation, unexplained, persistent. Some say it's a statistical fluke, others whisper darker possibilities. A tear, a scar left behind by a collision with another universe, the mark of a higher dimensional traveler, or a portal. What if these oddities aren't glitches, but keys? Keys to a deeper layer of reality, one where space isn't space, where time isn't linear, where the universe itself is just a program. Because here's where it all begins to unravel. As we look further, deeper beyond the stars, the question returns like a ghost. What is the universe? A field of matter and energy, or a simulation? Some physicists believe our reality bears the fingerprints of computation. The Planck scale, the smallest possible unit of space, resembles a pixel. The cosmic speed limit, the speed of light, like a processing constraint. Even quantum mechanics, once chaotic, now whispers of algorithmic behavior. We don't see electrons move smoothly. We see probabilities collapse into outcomes, like code executing a command. What if the edge of the universe, that distant limit where light can no longer reach us, isn't just a horizon of distance, but of data? A boundary where the simulation ends, where the program runs out of memory, where the map fades into nothingness, because nothing was ever rendered beyond that point. And maybe that's why dark flow pulls toward the unknown, why FRBs scream from the abyss, why the cold spots stain the sky like forgotten pixels. Maybe those anomalies are debug logs, artifacts left behind by the system, or intrusions. And maybe, just maybe, the simulation is trying to tell us something, or someone else is. Because as we race forward in time, the universe races toward its own demise. The end. Not with a bang, but a shiver. Galaxies drift apart, stars burn out, black holes evaporate, entropy climbs, energy spreads thin, until there's nothing left, no heat, no light, no motion, just cold and silence. The heat, death. A universe stretched so far, so thin it forgets how to exist. Time stops, matter decays, space forgets it ever curved. But what if that's not the end? What if it's just the loading screen? A transition from physical to non-physical, from simulation to source, from universe to something greater. Some theories propose that our universe may reboot, that after heat death, a quantum fluctuation could give rise to a new Big Bang, a new program, a new run. Others suggest our simulation, once complete, is uploaded into a higher system, a cosmic cloud server, a library of finished realities, each one stored, reviewed, examined. What if our lives, our thoughts, our choices are being analyzed? What if we're being watched? Not maliciously, just observed, for study, for curiosity, or for judgment. And if the edge of the universe is truly the edge of existence, then every step we take forward in knowledge, every telescope aimed at the void, every whisper we send into the dark, is us knocking on the wall of our cage, and something, somewhere, might knock back. Static fades in, a low hum, a flash of unseen geometry. This isn't the end. It's the threshold, and beyond it, something else waits. Not a god, not a galaxy, but truth. And once we touch it, will never be the same. Thanks for watching. If your mind has been twisted, expanded, or broken just a little, make sure to subscribe to Uncharted Odyssey, where we dive deeper into the mysteries of existence than anyone else dares. There's so much more to discover, and this is just the beginning. See you on the next Odyssey.